I need help. The irony is I don't want to play MMORPGs anymore. I mean, I love MMORPGs. They're one of my favorite games. But I can't. A metal shelf.
I want to beat So over the head with that thing.
The table, yeah.
Apparently you need your dosage increased.
Dosage?
We still don't know what that's about. The whole dosage thing? Many objects are scattered on the table. Binder. It's a map of Shinjuku. Okay. Different string of characters, here we know. Monitor off. The door leads to the sink room. The sink machine. Yeah, pewter. All the sinking work.
During a sink, the sinker's consciousness, or ego, is brought into the subject's somnium. They enter the subconscious mind, or more accurately, sink into it. At this time, the sinker's memories are left in their original body. Picture an egg. The ego is the egg yolk that goes into the subject's brain. The sinker's memories are the whites, which remain in the shell. The sinker, or rather the sinker as their pure ego, experiences the subject's somnium. But to be precise, it is not only ego. When synced, a modicum of memory data does get sent into the subject's brain. Imagine separating an egg yolk from its whites. No matter how you try, some of the egg whites will always stick to the yolk. This is just like that.
Okay. About the mysterious figure.
The subject of the sink remembers certain persons or objects that appear in Somnium.
The story, yes, but if you want to do any kind of progress in like later dungeons and equip your characters and stuff, you're gonna have to spend a lot of time in that game. Also, there's like a whole thing where like you typically have multiple characters that they farm stuff on, like currency on. That way they can spend it on their main characters. And so that also requires you to level multiple characters to have different like farming tunes, and then like one main guy that you use for raiding and stuff. And it's a whole thing. It's pretty intense. The thing with like Lost Ark is it requires, it's a huge time sink. Like it's huge. Like if you really want to dive into it, like it's kind of crazy. If you really do want to just do the story, you can totally beat it solo, I'm pretty sure. At the very least, like you might have some dungeons to do for questing and stuff, but like you can just queue and do the normal versions of them, and they're fairly easy. Pretty much like, well, that part, yeah, kind of.
But they might not have a clear form. Our dreams are sometimes vague or unclear after all. Even the subject of the dream themselves. I told you earlier that the sinker experiences the dream from the perspective of an observer. That is why the person creating the dream can appear within it.
Okay.
But perhaps they do not have an objective view of themselves, like a mirror or picture. Perhaps he's never watched himself on television. Rare for a politician, but not unheard of. He lacks that objective picture of himself. He remains stoic and unattached despite his position of power. I find that quite powerful. To be able to put your ego aside and see yourself as God sees you is an ability many charismatic people share.
Wow. Okay.
He may not have a rational, objective assessment of himself. So, even if this figure is ambiguous,
It could be so.
indeed.
What is the ego algorithm you mentioned?
Imagine the human brain as being made up of two elements: memory and algorithmic structure. The former is preferable because the latter can be problematic. It can output things based on the inputs it is given. To make this easier to understand, compare this to a computer. Memory is like your data stored on a hard disk. The algorithm is the program. This program controls everything, from higher cognitive functions to primitive instinct. This program is what creates the phenomenon of consciousness. In short, it is your ego algorithm. What you call your mind, recognition, cognition, consciousness. All of these processes are incomprehensible without the ego algorithm. However, the Wadjet system is revolutionizing the way we think about consciousness.
The Wadjet system controls my core programming.
Using Wadjet,
Okay.
we could map the neural circuitry of the human brain. And we discovered a specific circuit that is key to the phenomenon of consciousness. However, we human beings are still unable to fully grasp it. It's far too complicated. But even if we don't understand it, we can still use it. You don't have to understand electromagnetism to use a microwave oven. The Wadjet system is how we are able to extract the sinker's consciousness. That is what makes syncing possible.
Yay. That's interesting for sure. Let's check out this. What I would give to be trapped in there with Reika. Oh my god, what? Okay, Date, sure, man. Whatever you say, bro. Boss. The boss is standing there. Can we get an arrest warrant for so?
Are you kidding me? You know that what we find in Somnium can't be submitted as evidence in court. Besides, we don't even know for sure if that figure was so.
You said it was.
I said that it's probably him.
Excuse me? I'm right here. I can hear everything you're saying.
Did the crime scene investigation team report anything?
No, nothing yet. They arrived a while ago, but
They're
that
useless.
warehouse is owned by Okiura Fishery.
I know. Iba, can you check to see if it's the Okiura we know?
It is, but it's not. It doesn't belong to Renju. We already know this.
Searching.
About the Somnium earlier.
I saw it on the monitor. Iba saving Iris as she was being stabbed. Of course, since you and Iba are one and the same, it's like you saved her, Date. But that was just a dream. It's not real. Saving her in Somnium won't save her now. I'm sorry.
Bastard. Why'd you call Shoko?
Come to think of it, I still haven't heard your explanation for this. 2 days ago, you called Shoko Nadami just after 9 p.m. Why?
That is a private matter that I will not discuss with you.
What is your alibi for Shoko's murder?
What were you doing at 5 p.m. 2 days ago?
Reading a book at home. You can ask my housekeeper or my bodyguards. They will confirm that for you.
They're on your
That
payroll.
does match what the bodyguard said earlier.
But they're like family to him. They're not above telling a lie to protect their boss.
Yeah, exactly. He looks tired. The medicine isn't fully worn off yet. It makes him a bit dazed. About Iris.
I've been telling you I don't know anything.
That's a lie. You knew she was stabbed.
That's impossible. I saw Iris in your dream. You have to have some memory of her.
What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of this.
You killed Iris, didn't you?
I didn't.
Are you planning on acting dumb all night? How did you know Iris was stabbed?
This.
I heard it.
How?
What?
On my way to this place, I heard that woman over there talking. Something about a girl who got stabbed in the back.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, you.
I don't remember exactly what I said. It's possible that I mentioned a body with stab wounds to the back.
Boss.
Wow, really?
It is impossible to determine now. He very well may not have seen Iris's body.
No. He still must have. He was in the warehouse.
But does that mean we can conclude for certain that he saw the corpse?
What was he doing in the warehouse? We didn't ask him that.
Date, the investigation team is calling.
This is Date from Abyss. What happened?
Hey, sorry to call you out of the blue. There's something we want to check. Is now a good time?
Sure, what is it?
You said you found a body at Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse. The one at Ariake? warehouse district?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Why? What happened?
It's, not here.
What?
What's not there?
We searched all over the warehouse. We didn't find any bodies.
How? How can there's be no bodies?
What do you mean there's no body?
We looked everywhere, but nothing.
Date, I am not doubting you. However, are you sure?
Like, even if I was not sure, right? Like, even if like I imagine there was a body there, in the dream we saw Iris get stabbed multiple times.
Yes, I'm sure. I saw it. I know I saw it. I saw Iris's body with my own right eye.
Then perhaps someone moved the body between the time we left and CSI arrived.
No, there's another possibility.
There is?
I'm gonna drive to Iris's house. Right? Because like we haven't tried that. So yeah, exactly. See, there we go. She's right there?
Date?
How?
Iris!
What are you doing? Barging in without ringing the doorbell? Oh, you see, Mizuki ended up staying at my place. Something wrong?
The world changed.
Wait, because we saved her in Somnium? That can't be right. That can't be right. We saved her in Somnium and then suddenly she's alive? That's just not possible.
Aiba and I saved Iris during the sink yesterday. She wasn't killed.
True, but that was only a dream.
Maybe the dream changed reality.
Impossible.
Then how else would you explain it? Iris came back to life.
Yeah, they're gonna say I'm crazy. Yeah, like the mannequin always says something. Boss's friend's Mario.
If only money rained down from the sky.
Like, it makes no sense. He's not supposed to be able to talk, but he talks every time. Nothing else here is important. It's all like just random stuff. Aiba jumped out of my eye socket. Yeah. About a dream-changing reality.
It is absurd. Not possible. Dreams are figments of the imagination. An incident which took place entirely in your mind cannot have any bearing on the real world. That is preposterous. Consider it. If you were to find money in your dream, does your bank account balance go up in reality? If you were to be attacked by aliens in your dream, does a swarm of UFOs invade Earth?
But at the warehouse,
You must have been hallucinating.
How was I hallucinating?
Within Mizuki's Somnium, you saw Iris's frozen corpse. It is affecting your mental state. Last night, you were so fazed by it that you couldn't speak. If it bothers you to this degree, why not go talk to Iris?
About the fishery.
I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju.
It's funny because like this specific like information, it's like the third time we learned it now. It was given to us in 2 other branches of the story.
The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious. I would suggest searching the warehouse again. You may be able to discover why Iris was resurrected.
About Renju.
Mizuki went to Bloom Park 3 nights ago. She was prompted by a Nile message from Renju.
Mizuki Daddy got caught up in something serious. Please come to Bloom Park's merry-go-round right away.
There are 3 possibilities. 1. Renju killed Shoko, or was an accessory to the murder. 2. Renju was threatened or blackmailed into luring Mizuki to the scene. 3. The culprit used Renju's phone to send the Nile message.
I'm voting for 3 personally, but I mean, it could be 2. I really doubt it's 1.
In any case, the motive is still unknown. We need to talk to Renju.
Renju, where did you go?
Why can we not put on an APB on Renju?
You asked Mama at Marble for information regarding Renju Okiura, correct? It is possible she may have something for you by now.
Oh, true. We could go see Mama. I asked Mama for information too, but I had to promise him a meeting with Iris. Mama can wait for now.
We can talk to Iris's mom as well. She was Renju's classmate, right? Iba told me about her.
There's a whole bunch of people we can talk to now. Okay. Where's Iris now? Iris now.
Her cell phone is on. I can trace her via GPS. She is currently somewhere in the Lemniscape building.
Yeah, she's doing a podcast. Like she was in the other timelines. Yeah, a dream-changing reality.
Date and Iba saved Iris and Somnium, and that changed the history of the real world? Well, I guess it's not impossible.
That isn't what you said yesterday.
What?
That was then, this is now. A woman's mind changes with the phases of the moon, you know?
It does?
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, I believe in Date. I trust him more than anyone else in Abyss.
About prophetic dreams.
Stranger things have been known to happen. 2 days ago, Date found Iris's frozen corpse in Mizuki's Somnium. It must have been a prophecy.
Boss.
There's a lot of stuff in this world that can't be explained by science.
The other thing that doesn't, like, I don't understand is, like, we saw the body, right? And then we went straight back to, like, police headquarters, right? And then, but like when we were interrogating So, we had an autopsy report. We had like a massive amount of information about like time of death and like a whole bunch of different things. Normally, that information, if it wasn't given by like a coroner, it would have been given to us by Iba. Like she would have scanned the body and she would have told us like, oh, rigor mortis, blah blah blah, like time of death probably 18 hours ago. Like she would have scanned the body and told us stuff, but she was offline. So the only other explanation would be that like because we had all those reports, it would have had been coming from like the police itself, but then the body wasn't there anymore. So how do you explain that? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like we had an autopsy report. Boss's knack for change is one of her good qualities. Not having beliefs is what she believes in. That's how she established herself as a major player in the police department, because she believed what she wanted to. Okay, about So.
Congressman Sejima is suspicious in more ways than one. Exhibit A. 3 days ago, So called Shoko Nadami's phone. We still don't know exactly why. He only told us it was meant to be private. Exhibit B. So Sejima was at Okiura Fishery Warehouse last night, but he didn't inform us of this. It must be something he doesn't want us knowing. Exhibit C. So was in Iris's Somnium. Dreams are constructed from memories. Yet the good congressman denies he ever knew Iris.
Where is he now?
I sent him home yesterday.
You released him?
What was I supposed to do? We can't hold him without solid proof. What we saw with Iris hasn't happened yet.
In any case, we have to speak with him again.
There are 4 people I should talk to. So Sejima, Iris and Hitomi Sagan, and Mama. And I need to check the warehouse one more time.
We have many avenues of investigation.
Let's get moving.
True. Let's go back to the warehouse. That might give us information we can then ask So. I'm very curious about the warehouse. With Aiba in my left eye socket, I walked into the cold storage warehouse. I could see my breath. I looked around shivering. Nothing seemed changed from last night though.
There are numerous cardboard boxes on the shelves. There is nothing abnormal about them.
Okay, but like, still.
Hi, I'm Dramaimon.
Dramaimon?
Aiba, the jokes, you've got to stop.
Doesn't have magical pockets though.
A forklift. It doesn't seem like it's in use. It was likely just left here.
The tires of the forklifts are on the ground, and they are clearly frozen. Switchboard.
A switchboard. Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Installed in the back of the warehouse.
The crane on the ceiling. Nothing has changed.
The workbench.
First arrived here yesterday at 9 p.m. At that time, lying on this workbench was...
Iris's dead body, covered with a white cloth.
But the second time...
The corpse was gone.
It was 11:25 p.m., but the body could not have simply vanished. Crime scene investigation was here before 11:25 p.m.
When did they arrive?
According to the report, 10:30 p.m., after we finished syncing with So.
It took them an hour and a half to get here?
That makes no sense.
Correct.
Why did it take them so long?
Unknown. The report does not specify. Perhaps a result of outside influence.
Yeah, they were either told to get there super late so that they could remove the body, or they removed the body themselves.
Outside influence?
What if it wasn't Iris? What if Iris has like a twin sister or something that we don't know about?
In any case, there is nothing of note about the bench. Examining it will not reveal any further information.
Like, also, like, it had the right eye removed, which is weird because all the bodies that we've seen so far of the new killer have all had the left eye removed. There's nothing on it.
A forklift. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. That machine is used to cut ice. Do they store ice here?
I mean, maybe.
There are only a few items on the shelf. It is likely that this warehouse isn't in regular use. It's a wooden box. There is nothing inside.
We searched the warehouse again, but we didn't find anything useful.
Nothing.
But finding nothing may, in fact, be something.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking out loud. Let's get going. Date, your temperature is dropping. At this rate, they might find your body in here.
Wow. Okay, so there was nothing there. That was pointless. Let's go to the Sagan residence. I want to talk to Iris's mom. I want to know if she had like a twin sister or something.
I apologize for yesterday. I arrived uninvited.
No, I'm grateful. Thanks to you, Mizuki has her voice back.
No, I didn't do anything.
Can you tell me about this?
I've been wondering about that picture.
Iris drew it when she was 12.
That's you on the left and Iris in the middle, correct?
Yes,
Who's on the right?
the man I was dating at the time. It was only for 3 months, but... I met him about 6 years ago. Have you been to the Ikume Shrine? In the Minato district? I was praying there one day, and I heard a voice.
Yeah. Okay, so that confirms the story of inmate number 89.
Well, more like a groan. Behind the shrine, I saw a man sitting on the ground. He was bleeding badly from his stomach. I took out my phone to call an ambulance, but he grabbed my wrist, and he held me, and then he kissed me. I was shocked, but when I stared into his eyes, then I heard footsteps, and then a bunch of men yelling. They were looking for him. When the voices and footsteps faded, he let me go. Don't call an ambulance, and don't call the cops. I knew he had to be a criminal, so I took him to an underground clinic I knew.
How do you know an underground clinic? Also, hi Pyro, what's up, man?
You took him to a mob doctor?
Renju's friend. I only met him once.
Wait, what?
Even though we had our first kiss seconds after meeting each other, it took a long time before I got to see him again. The first time we held hands was when we watched a horror movie together. The first time I took his arm was when we went to a haunted house in an amusement park. But I wasn't the one who grabbed him. A zombie jumped out and scared us, and he clung onto my arm. He had that cute side to him. And I was falling in love. Our second kiss was in the car. It's cliché, I know, but we drove around at night, looking at all the lights. We parked our car near a warehouse and kissed. I don't think we ever said I love you.
You parked your car near these warehouses?
But we both knew. We were getting closer and closer. I introduced him to Iris about a month after I first met him. Iris never had a father figure in her life before. She warmed up to him immediately and treated him like a real dad. From then on, it was always the three of us together. We would go to the beach, to the river, the zoo, the amusement park. Going to barbecues with another person was a new experience for me and Iris. Everything felt so fresh. Every day was so exciting. Oh, sorry. You asked about the picture. He wanted to make okonomiyaki one day. He was working with the hot plate. It was ridiculous. He was trying to flip one, and it flew up in the air and landed right on my head. Iris saw the whole thing and laughed and laughed. I hadn't seen her laugh like that in a long time.
Aww.
I was having so much fun that I put an okonomiyaki on their heads too.
You're good? Nice. Will not tell you a thing because it's secret? Do you know what happens in the game? Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Plop, plop. I added the bonito flakes and mayo and sauce. At this point, there was no going back. Eggs flew, flour going everywhere. The room was not a pretty sight. After our battle, we laughed like crazy. We were rolling around on the floor. So Iris decided to draw it.
Oh, that's why they're covered in stuff. Okay, I see.
But those days didn't last. 6 years ago, in November, a man with a gun broke into our house. Fortunately, Iris wasn't home at the time, but my boyfriend was. That's why the gunman came. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him, and he would never stop. He pulled the trigger. I tried to protect him. The bullet hit me, but the police arrived. They were both arrested and incarcerated.
Why was he after your boyfriend?
Before he met me, he committed some terrible crime. I don't know the details, but it was awful. So he became a target for underworld criminals. I don't know exactly why, but I know that he betrayed them in some way.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
I had heard that that incident was a random break-in gone wrong.
Oh. That's not true. I lied about it at the time, because of Mizuki. Mizuki is Iris's friend. If she found out, Iris would find out too. I didn't want Iris to know.
Know what?
That I was dating a criminal. He was her father figure. Iris looked up to him. If she found out about his past...
There's a drawing on the wall. Iris drew it when she was 12. Yeah, okay. Very interesting though. Like we're like she's basically confirming a whole lot of stuff that we know from the other timeline.